and Ken Cook Show. We're having a party today. And what is a party without food? A lot of Chinese food can be served, buffet style. And when you put a variety of Chinese dishes together, you have a real Chinese smorgasbord. So today, we're going to show you a few choices that you can prepare, that you can put it in your buffet. You can even serve it anytime you want, particularly wonderful in the summer and also when Christmas party and you don't want to spend too much time. This is perfect. The first thing I want to show you is a very, very simple dish. This particular dish is called honey-glazed garlic rib. Everybody loves this. It's very easy to do. You can prepare it ahead of time, so that's why it's perfect for buffet. Here, I have approximately 2 pounds of pork spare rib. You marinate it with 2 tablespoons of wine. I already put in there, so this is slightly intoxicated. And then I put a tiny bit of soy sauce and marinate it for approximately 2 to 4 hours. In the meantime, I also want to heat up my wok because I want to start browning this. Here, I put a tiny bit of oil when the wok is hot enough. Don't use too much because in the rib there's already a tiny bit of oil, so it's very important not to do that. And then I also need a tiny bit of garlic, so I can mince some garlic. I'm going to need about 1 to 2 tablespoons of garlic because you say honey garlic rib. If it's not enough garlic, there is only honey rib, no garlic. Nothing to it. See? We'll put them all together. All you need is approximately 2 tablespoons of garlic, and also you need approximately 1 tablespoon soy sauce and approximately 2 tablespoons of honey. You can use wild honey. I do not want to use regular honey. 2 tablespoons of honey is 2 days hard work for a little honey bee. That is terrible. And also, in this sauce, I also use approximately half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, hot mustard, very hot mustard. Now, everybody probably don't know that Dijon is not exclusively French. In Chinese, they have emperor, Dijon emperor. He loves spicy food. He's a spicy character. Loves spicy stuff. Hot, spicy food. I'm going to brown this, okay? Brown this. Look at this. Put it over here. Look at how hot this is. Nice and hot. Okay? Make sure you brown this. If the wok is not hot enough, you're going to have a problem. And also, I'm quite sure how many of you in the audience have a wok at home? See, everybody. Now, wok is just like any tool. You got to get to know your wok, how to take care of the wok, how to work with your tool. You got to learn how to communicate with your tool, your wok. I am walking and talking at the same time. Stir. Now, you got to cover this up a little bit and put about half a cup to 3/4 cup of broth. You can use a pork broth or chicken broth, doesn't make any difference. And then you can cover this up, okay, and cook it for a little while. After that, you are going to put the garlic, okay, let it break, garlic, and also honey and Dijon mustard. And so you're going to glaze this, okay. Let me show you. I'm going to turn this down and let it slightly cook and glaze. Okay, let it glaze over there. In the meantime, we'll remove these and put this aside. Now, the next one, which is very, very good, which everybody probably have tried this before, is chicken paper wrap or foil wrap chicken, or sometimes called paper wrap chicken in little packages, okay? All you need is cut the chicken up. This is approximately, you can use approximately 1 whole chicken breast, or you can use chicken thigh. Use approximately 8 to 10 ounces. It doesn't make any difference. Cut into small pieces, okay? Small pieces like this. And then you marinate this. Look at this. I marinate this with a tiny bit of 1 tablespoon of dry sherry and about 1 tablespoon oyster sauce, or you can even use hoisin sauce. And you can use about 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. Now, look, I can put a tiny bit of soy sauce here. Mix this up. And then also, make sure you mix it up. Make sure you also put a tiny bit of sesame seed oil. Let it marinate for about half an hour to 2 hours. And then I want to show you how easy it is to wrap this up. You see? Look at this. You put one piece here, put a tiny bit of cilantro, okay, because you want to give that nice color. Put it right here. Put one piece, and then put a tiny piece of ham. Use Smithfield ham, smoked ham. And also water chestnut, and a tiny bit of green onion. Now I'm going to turn this down a little bit so make sure it won't burn. And then, like you hold on to make a little envelope. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see how you do it? And then you tuck the whole thing in like this. You see this? Tuck the whole thing in like this, so you have a nice little package, just like this. Can you see that? Now, aside from this, you can also use a foil, aluminum foil. If you use aluminum foil, you put all the stuff here, and then you can go like this. Fold it into a little triangle, and then you wrap it up like this, okay? Because this way, you can deep fry this, or you can bake it. Now, I am going to bake this because I don't want to bother to deep fry. This way, the oil, even you deep fry it, the oil would not get in here. It's a little triangle like this, you see? Now, of course, you can use foil, you can use parchment paper, but don't use newspaper. Not only it's not clean, besides the chicken don't care about the news. Now, after this is done, what I'm going to show you, we're going to put this out. Put it right here. Put everything here. See, this one got a little COD. They're like chicken on delivery. Let's get rid of the damn thing. And put one over here, one over here. We are going to take it over there. I'm going to remove these and put it underneath here. Put it underneath here. And then I am going to bake this. See? Because you can bake this about 350 degrees for approximately 10 to 12 minutes because it's not that thick a piece. When it's done, you take a piece out, take another piece out, and when you serve this, all you have to do is open this up like this. Look at how beautiful. A whole package like this. This is how you serve these. Okay? Now, let me quickly come back and take a look how wonderful this is being. Oh, this is beautiful. This is rib already done. Can you see how beautiful this is? When it's done, you scoop it out, and then you sprinkle it with sesame seed. And it's wonderful, and it's easy, and you can do it ahead of time. And I have one that I want to show you how wonderful it looks. Isn't that beautiful? Another food that is great for a Chinese buffet is shrimp, or you can call it prawn. I'm going to show you how to make the classic, very popular, shrimp toast. Everybody knows that when you go to Chinese dim sum restaurant, you can actually order shrimp toast. This particular one, I'm going to show you how easy it is to mince the shrimp, because in China, this is the food processor, okay? First of all, you have shrimp here. This is the way that my mom had been doing it for 600 years. Put over here. First, you smash the damn thing, okay? Set it aside. Again, you smash the damn thing. You set it aside. And once again, you smash the damn thing and set it aside. Then you use 2 knives. You go. Done. Isn't that simple? Nothing to it. By then, you already lose about 6 million calories. Now, after this, all you have to do is marinate this. I want to show you how easy it is. You marinate this, chop them all up. You're going to marinate this with approximately 2 teaspoons of dry sherry and about a tiny bit of minced ginger and also some chopped green onion and also half a teaspoon of salt and a tiny bit of white pepper. And not only that, I'm going to add a tiny bit of egg white. You use about 1 small egg white to mix it up. So this way, it's easier for you to mash it and make it into a nice paste. And let it sit aside for a little while. I'm going to set this aside. Now, I am making shrimp toast. It's not done in a toaster. It is not shrimp cocktail toast. Toast, gone baked, means cheers, bottoms up. This is shrimp toast. And then I want to show you how easy it is to crush a water chestnut. This is a canned water chestnut, and this is fresh water chestnut. You see? By the time you peel it, this is what it looks like. No, actually, this is from a small water chestnut. When you do water chestnut, let me show you. You got to be very, very careful, okay? If you do it like this, they fry all over the place. You see? You lose about 1/2 of it. So you should never, this is all crushed. Look at this. This is the technique. This is how you should do it. You see this? This way, you do not lose anything. Besides, you do not have to clean up your kitchen floor. Set it aside and put it over here. And then you start it out with 2 pieces of bread. Or depends on how many shrimp toast you want to make. I normally would make about 16 to 20 pieces. Okay? First, you trim use a 1-day-old bread. It's easier to handle. They're firmer. And you do not want to use the really fresh bread because it's too soft to put it. Besides, 1-day-old bread is a lot more experience. Now, you can make big toast like this. Look at this. You can do it like this. So you can make toast in a triangle. But we are going to have buffet, so we're going to make it fancy. So we are going to use this little thing, this cookie cutter, or whatever you call it. I don't care what I've never seen this when I was growing up in China 200 years ago. If you are very hungry, you don't care about that, you use this gigantic thing. If you are on a strict diet, you use this one. But for us, we're going to use this, okay? We make one over here, okay? One. Another one over here. And then the rest, what are you going to do? I have no idea. I am going to put it and make breadcrumb. Now, first of all, I want to show you how easy it is to make this. In the meantime, I'm going to heat up. I'm going to check my oil. Once again, I am going to check my oil, make sure the oil is hot enough. With a pair of chopsticks, perfect, the oil is hot enough. Okay. Now, and then I am going to show you how fancy it is. Let me show you. To make it fancy, this is for buffet. Mess, put a tiny bit over here. Nice, pack it up. Smooth, like this. Don't just kind of go, goodbye, because it will fall down and jump off. You want the darn thing to stick around for the party. So you put it over here and nice and smooth like this. Now, if you have time, you do it for 2 hours. Try to smooth it out. If you don't have time, you just do it quickly, okay? Look at this. And then, if you want to make it fancy, well, let me show you. You have a little half a shrimp already marinated. You twist this and you put it like this. One. Can you see that? And then you do another one. Particularly when you have plenty of time, like me, you do more. If you're running out of time, you do less. You do it ahead of time and put it in the fridge. Look at this. Do another one. See how easy, how gorgeous it looks? Just press this. Now you have 2. Now I'm going to remove these so everybody can see this much, much better. Then when you deep fry this, make sure you put this upside down like this. You want to cook the shrimp first. Look at this. It only takes a few seconds to cook. When it's done, you take it out. Look at how beautiful this is. Look at this. All it takes is about a minute to do it. Doesn't take too long, okay? How many of you have done this at home? Please raise your hand. Everybody? Look at how beautiful. I just want to show you how beautiful it looks. Nice, and turn them around, and it looks like this, isn't it? And I'm going to put it over here. Look how beautiful this is. 1, 2. See this? Now, if you have more time, all you can do is deep fry enough and then put them all together and garnish it. So in your buffet table, it looks much nicer. This looks ugly, this is beautiful, okay? Now, you have been listening to all my shrimp stories, but here is someone who really knows about seafood, about shrimp. Let's welcome seafood expert, author, and columnist, the fishmonger from the San Francisco Chronicle, my very good friend, Chef Jay Harlow.
How are you?
Welcome to the Yan Can Cook Show. Today, everybody in the audience, everybody at home is getting so excited because I myself love seafood, and I'm quite sure everybody loves seafood. So let's tell us about what, we got a variety of seafood. Let's tell everybody what they are and where they're from.
Well, I heard this was a BYOP party. Bring your own prawns, so I brought my own.
Your own prawns.
Okay. What we have here is actually a bunch of different things that go by the names of shrimp or prawns. Starting up here at the top, we have these small brown shrimp. These come from Ecuador. These shrimp come from all over the world now to our markets. These are some black tiger prawns from Taiwan. Down here at the bottom, we have some white shrimp. Those are also from all over Asia and this side of the Pacific. These particular ones came from Malaysia. These are really interesting. These come from Thailand, and these are a freshwater shrimp. See, with these big long claws.
Is there any meat inside here? It looks really interesting.
There's a little bit in there. If you don't get enough to eat with everything else, you can crack those open and get those little morsels. These are generally called freshwater prawns. And then over here, all of those are frozen. Here we have something that's fresh, sometimes here on the West Coast. This is a spot prawn from Alaska.
Spot, oh yeah, I can see a little red spot over here.
And then this one here, these are pre-cooked. These also come from the North Pacific, from Canada, and these are cooked prawns. And
how about this one too?
Okay, this is the brown shrimp.
This is brown shrimp. This is one of the most popular ones in the market.
Yes. And if you go into especially Chinese markets, you can find, I got all of these this morning in Chinese markets right here in the Bay Area.
Right. The thing that I always get confused, I'm quite sure many of you in the studio audience, also you at home, always confused. What is a shrimp? What's the difference? What's the definition of a shrimp and a prawn and a shrimp? I got all mixed up. You should give an idea what is shrimp, what is prawn.
It really depends on where you're from, Martin. If you go to the East Coast of the United States and the Southeast, they call them all shrimp. Here on the West Coast, we tend to call the little ones shrimp, the big ones prawns. If you go to England or go anywhere in the British Commonwealth countries, Australia, Hong Kong, they call them all prawns. So it really depends where you're from.
I'm really confused. It depends on where you are. Fortunately, I only stay here. I don't go anywhere. Right. But the thing is, thank you, Jay, because this is very informative. But if you really want to know a little more about prawn, about shrimp, about seafood, or shrimp, or prawn, Jay has written a very informative book. This wonderful cookbook is the California Seafood Cookbook. Now, we're going to over there, and I'm going to put Jay and the prawn to work.
Okay. So we're going to make some
what are we going to make?
Skewered grilled prawns or shrimp, whichever you want to call them.
Skewer, grill. The problem is, I don't know whether, in this particular case, they're not big one, they're not the small one. Should you call it shrimp or prawn?
Well, where I'm from, we call them shrimp. What do they call them where you're from?
Chinese. When I was growing up, it's called ha.
Huh?
Ha. Ha. Ha.
Ha.
If you have one, is ha.
Ha.
Two is ha ha.
Ha.
Three is ha ha ha. So let's everybody practice in the audience. If four shrimp, how do you say it?
Ha, 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 ha.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's perfect Cantonese.
That's a cheap way to get a laugh, Martin.
Cheap is actually a very bad word. I just love bargains.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, I noticed that, of course, you have to start with this Chinese kneading needle.
Right,
Skewer.
this is actually a bamboo or a wooden skewer. And it's important when you're going to grill with these to soak these first in water so that they're wet.
So they won't get burned out and dried out.
Otherwise, yes, they'll burn when they're on the grill.
Now, before you do it, you got to marinate it first. Let's talk a little bit about what kind of marinade we should use.
Okay, the marinade, we've got 1/4 cup of hoisin sauce, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and 1 teaspoon of sesame oil and a little bit of black pepper. And those are all combined.
Mix them all up. See,
Right.
look at here. We have, after it's marinated, it will look like this.
Right.
How long should we marinate this?
Oh, about an hour.
About an hour.
You can do it a little longer, a little farther ahead of time if you need that extra time to get ready for your party.
Okay, let's skewer some. We can cook,
Okay.
because the people in the studio audience are getting hungry. And
That's
also
right.
you at home, I'm quite sure you are hungry too. So we will send you one today, special delivery.
Okay, so we put 1 shrimp on there
move it.
first.
Let's do it over here so
All
everybody
right.
can see better. Perfect. Let's do it over here. Okay, good.
So we put on 1 shrimp, and then we'll put on a piece of pineapple here. Then we put
Okay.
on another shrimp. And actually, I like to go through the shrimp twice
Yeah.
if I can.
Good, so it won't
And
fall apart.
then we'll go in, we'll skewer our piece of pepper,
Pepper.
and then 1 more shrimp.
Yeah, I think
And we want them to all go in the same direction,
when
so
they
it'll look
push
nice
it, and
and
people
orderly.
should be very careful. Otherwise,
Also-
can be dangerous, huh?
Right, also for this, let's work out toward the end of the skewer so you can handle it by this end of the skewer.
That's great.
And then we'll just put this right on our grill.
Okay.
This is a little portable gas grill that you can use inside the kitchen.
Now, I'm quite sure a lot of people have the same question, whether it's in the studio or at home. A lot of time, you go in and they say fresh shrimp or fresh prawn or frozen or fresh frozen. I got all confused again. So maybe you should explain to me what is fresh,
Okay.
fresh frozen, frozen fresh.
Okay, well, most of the shrimp in our markets do come in frozen. Although, if they've got to come from Asia, of course, they have to be frozen. But these spot prawns, for example, are available here fresh on the West Coast. And if you go to the Southeast, you can sometimes find fresh shrimp from the Gulf of Mexico. I would encourage people, wherever you are, if there are fresh shrimp on the market, try them. Otherwise, the frozen shrimp are an excellent product. They're very good, and most of them are now coming from farms rather than the open ocean. They're raising them in ponds so they can control the culture of them. Okay.
Now, how about, you see, there are different sizes of prawn or shrimp. What is the difference in texture?
The larger ones tend to be a lot firmer, Martin. So if you really want that nice, firm, meaty texture of a shrimp, go for one of the bigger sizes. Unfortunately, the bigger sizes are more expensive.
Oh.
So if you want to save money, buy them a little bit smaller.
But it doesn't make any difference whether it's fresh or frozen, or fresh frozen, or fresh. When I was in Hawaii recently, I can actually go to a Chinese restaurant and order live swimming prawn.
Yes.
I wonder why they don't have this in the mainland at this point.
I think they will pretty soon. You're seeing more and more Chinese restaurants now with live fish tanks, so maybe we'll start seeing live shrimp as well.
How long should we cook those things?
Okay, those were on the grill here for about 2 or 3 minutes on the first side, and you can see how the shells change color.
Yes, yes.
See how they were the dark color here
Yes.
first, and now they've changed to a bright pink orange. You can also see how the meat is changing color.
That's an indication it's getting cooked. But when it's actually cooked, they should all turn what color?
The meat should be opaque white, and the shells should be pink. That's the main thing. You see how these, when they're uncooked, the shrimp is a little bit translucent,
Yes, yes.
and then it turns to an opaque white when it's done.
Now, let's...
We're ready to turn this next one here,
turn
I
around.
think.
Now, how long can you do this ahead of time? And then how long can you keep it? And what should you do it and serve it with? Aside from the menu that we have today, what else would go well with this?
Well, this would go very nicely either as an appetizer or as a main course whenever you're grilling outside in your backyard.
Yes.
And it's also nice for a party like this because you
Another
can...
one?
If you don't want to do all the work, you can let your guests do some of the work. And just
Definitely.
set
How
up
about, how about doing them individually on a grill rather than doing it like this in a skewer? Also, I noticed that you have also one that is in the shell. What is the difference doing in a shell as compared to already shell?
Well, cooking shrimp in the shell tends to keep them a little bit moister.
Moist.
But then you have to deal with how to eat it. You have to peel it then before you can eat it. So it's a sort of a trade-off. For convenience sake, it's probably better to peel them. But I want to show how, in fact, you can grill shrimp in the shell, and they come out looking especially nice because you've got a lot of that bright pink shell. Okay, and I think our first ones are just about ready to come off the grill.
Ooh, looks wonderful. Let's
And we'll
remove
set that
these.
right on the
Right on the rice.
platter of
Serve
rice.
over rice or noodle. We happen to have rice. Look at how beautiful. Isn't it nice? This is wonderful because This is like a one dish meal. You have prawn, you have
That's right.
sweet and sour pineapple, you have a tiny bit of vegetable, and by the time you show us the easiest way to pull the whole thing out.
Okay, then when it's time to serve, you can use your fingers if you're being informal, or you can use a fork and just slide them right off of there, and you're ready to peel and eat some shrimp.
Taste one. Taste one of food. Thank you so much for joining our party today. As you can see, I especially want to thank my good friend, Chef Jay Harlow, for sharing his expertise in seafood. We like to say, if Yan can cook, so can you. Thank you.
Bye.